Hi, welcome back. The show is still Bumper Breakfast this morning, and I'm going to be reviewing some of the stories in the newspaper this morning with my guest on the phone. I have on the phone with me Chris Kende Wandu, CKN. He is the CEO of CKN News. Good morning, CKN.
Thank you. Good morning, Jenny. How are you?
I'm very fine, thank you. How are you enjoying the partial? No, we're not working in full, the partial work and all that.
Well, I'm restricting myself to the protocols that were indicated by NCCC and the federal government as well as the Lagos State government. So we're in it together. So that's it.
That's good to know. That's good to know. We go right straight into the stories in the papers. We have a lot of interesting stories this morning in the papers, and the one I really want us to talk about first off is the IG talked yesterday, which concerns you, concerns me. The IG is saying that it's barring journalists, doctors, and others against the president's directive. He's saying that despite the curfew, that journalists, medical workers, and those others that are supposed to be exempted, that they are not exempted from the curfew. And as of yesterday, we have 50 medical workers, pressmen, others, they've been arrested. What's your take on this?
I think the basic information I have at my disposal as of now is that the IG has allowed that essential workers should be allowed to move around after the PTF, if you remember, and the NCCC had initially frowned against the digital blanket on all categories of Nigerians, because right from the first session, it has always been said that those on essential workers in certain categories, medical personnel, journalists, those in the oil and gas sector, those in the power sector, and other essentials will be allowed to move. But the Nigerian police have been infringing on that and making it to tap ban. And journalists, medical personnel, and the rest of them have been arrested after the 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. Partial dawn curfew. So I think the directive of the IG is that they should be allowed free movement. My own take on that is that even those on essential duties, even journalists, should also obey the restriction order. If you have nothing to eat at any given point in time and you are not on duty, there's no need for you to be out at 8 p.m. as directed. It's not the time for you to start visiting your friends under the guise that you have an ID card as a journalist or a medical doctor or whatever, just to be moving around. So, but the information I am having is that the IGP have asked security agencies and service police to obey that directive. But my own personal take is that I think the police as an organization has not been taking the enforcement order, especially as in regards to interstate movement. They have not been adhering to that. They have been allowing people to be moving from one part of the country to the other, despite interstate restriction, and that is my own concern. I think that is where they should focus their attention more, rather than just harassing people that are just a few people that are on special duties. That's my take on that.
Okay, but fine, good enough that the IG has redirected his initial statement. But don't you think that in the first instance there was just no need for him to have given that order, going against the commander-in-chief of the federation after because of his office?
Yes, I totally agree with you. Once this president has given an order, irrespective of wherever you find yourself as the head of an agency, whether it's a security agency or any other agency, you are bound to follow. But don't also forget that security heads also are chief security officers, also quote and unquote on certain issues despite the fact that the president has given a directive, they also have to have, and they are the ones on ground, and they have a more holistic approach and interpretation of whatever the president has given. And if they see that people were, for whatever reason, wasn't those orders that get directed by the president, then there might be need for them to re-strategize.
Okay.
Let's look at the situation where in Lagos, during the total lockdown, we had you remember that we had an upsurge in insecurity.
Yeah.
We had this 1 million or 2 million or whatever million they call themselves. They are going from one street to another, attacking people, and despite the curfew and the so under such circumstances, even if there's an order from above that people should move around, then it is within the CP, within the purview of the CP or any head of the security agency to take immediate action to need such circumstances in the board immediately. But as I said, I want to see the security agents doing more in Kobe. Kenny, if you go to Began now, you will see the number of buses. I'm not talking of essential trailers and the rest of them taking essentials into Lagos or the out of Lagos. I'm talking of commercial buses leaving Lagos or other parts of the state, especially Ibadan or Abeokuta and the rest of them. You see people, you see them shouting Ibadan, and you ask yourself, where are they passing? Yes, is it not the same roads that have been, the same interstates that have been closed? Somebody came me from Ibadan yesterday. I was telling him he's coming to Lagos. I said, are you going to make it? I will be in Lagos. I said, you must be a witch. Go. That's my friend told me that is in Lagos. And so where is it? So the law enforcement agency are not doing what they are supposed to do. And they'll be conniving in taking unnecessary backhands and rest of them. I like people to find that is very dangerous in this fight against coronavirus.
Thank you very much. And talking about people traveling all around, I want to go straight to Kano State now. The governor, he has come out to OK Jumat service and Salah prayers, and we right there in Nasarawa also has lifted the ban on worship centers for 2 weeks. Do you think that this is a step in the right direction, considering the crisis we've been having on the health crisis we've been having in Kano State? Do you think the governor is just right to have done this at this point in time?
Yes, that is a not only that, even Borno State, the governor of Borno State has done that. In Borno State, the governor has received a special on that. So, which is very, very wrong. We are just, the problem we have in this country, we tend to be more religious than those that are pro-religious to us. Yes, if you know, in Mecca, the biggest center, the epicenter of Islamic religion in Nigeria, in the world, that the mosque in Mecca we have been locked. In fact, it has the authorities in Saudi Arabia are extending, in fact, they're thinking of having a total lockdown within the next few days because of the Salah celebration. Make sure that nobody goes to any mosque for prayer. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you can't even access, you can't go on high, you can't go on pilgrimage because of this pandemic. So if I understand what you're saying now, is as if that the governor of Kano State is about to sit on the keg of a gunpowder now concerning the health sector. It is because even if you say that a certain number of people should just come to the mosque, and says, how do you control, how do you measure the number of people that come to the mosque? In a cosmopolitan city like Kano, you can be able to control the number of people coming to the mosque. And the cases in Kano is rising by the day on a daily basis. It's competing with Lagos. In fact, within these past few days, it has been Lagos, Kano, and Borno. Those that have been the three major states where you have the highest point of
cases.
And they are opening religious places in Borno, they're opening in Kano, and that is total no for me. And it's very dangerous for us.
Well, let's just see how it goes. And I want to also pick another story from the Nigerian Tribune. Red summoned health minister over whereabouts of Chinese medical team. PDP demands apology from FG over denial of any link with Chinese doctors. You know, since the Chinese doctors came into the country, there's been a lot of back and forth between the Nigerian populace, between the PDP and the government, the sitting government. You know that when they came in, they were quarantined and they were released. A lot of things went about. And just a few days ago, the minister has come out to say that they don't know the whereabouts of these doctors. Now, the reps are saying that you should know. Why would you say that you don't know the whereabouts of these doctors? And they are saying that these doctors are not the government, they are not guests of the federal government, so they shouldn't be monitoring. It is not the duty of the federal government to be monitoring them. But PDP and other bodies, they are clamoring for the fact that they should fish them out and let Nigerians know the whereabouts of these doctors. What do you take? What's your take on this?
First and foremost, I think we should be able to correct the impression that they are Chinese doctors. They are not Chinese doctors, based on what we've been told. They are Chinese health workers. I think we should put that in perspective.
Okay.
Yes, they are not Chinese doctors. One or two may be doctors. Don't forget the fact that you cannot, as a doctor, you cannot just come from outside Nigeria and come to practice there. There are regulatory bodies that handles that. So just like a Nigerian doctor cannot just fly to China or into the United States of America or United Kingdom and start practicing as a doctor. So that is being put into perspective. Then secondly, I call them controversial Chinese health worker because that is what's right. That is how to describe the whole controversial. If you see our headline today, that's what we led with, controversial Chinese health worker. Because yes, when they were coming in, we were told they are going to be they are doctors. The federal government authorities and ministers went to the airport to receive them with so much paraphernalia. Then they disappear. Then Nigerians are making noise instead of going to isolation. Anyway, then the government agencies were not even helping matters. As you rightly said, the Minister of Health said that he doesn't know where they are. The Minister of Information said that they are isolation centers, working in isolation centers. Just last night, the Minister of the Interior, yes, came out during the PTA briefing yesterday that the health personnel working in one or two places in Abuja, that they are the guests there with CKN, the Chinese company that brought them in, and that they are fine. But don't forget that their initial, I think 2 weeks or 3 weeks
isolation.
No, not even the isolation. Their visa is for 30 days, and I think that 30 days is almost last. And the problem we're having now is for them to go back to their country. How they're going to go back to their country is we don't know. No, because if you remember, they were brought to Nigeria by airline. Airpeace flew to China to bring some medical equipment that were given by Alibaba Nigeria. So they used that opportunity to join that flight to return. Whether we're going to have a special flight or is going to have a special flight that will fly them back to China is what we don't know. But I don't think this is something necessary.
Now, I want to take you on the statement of the Honorable Minister for Interior yesterday. Do you think what he said about the Chinese health workers, according to you now, do you think we can take his words to the bank?
Well, it's difficult for us to take the words of any government official these days because if you have a government is supposed to be a collective responsibility. As a student of the law, I know that anything that has to do with governance has to be a collective responsibility of all those in government. So if I say something, it's as good as every other person within that government has to concur and agree with what I'm saying. The situation where three different ministers have three different versions of what is happening, then it's a very big problem. I should believe that the Minister of Health, Dr. Hinare, should be the final word on this, since this has to do with medical workers. But for the Minister of Interior to come out now also, yes, for him to come to say what he said yesterday, although his ministry also has something to do with their being Nigeria, since he is in charge of Interior, their movement should be within the private officers. But I'll take it to the picture, but what I just feel is that these guys should just be allowed to do what they want came here to do and be allowed to go home. We have so much on our hands to start worrying ourselves about
about going home, we have that the Almajiri now, the southeastern community, they are saying that Almajiri has got no business in southeast. I know you are from the east. What do you think?
Who told you that?
Okay, you're in Nigeria.
Don't forget to have Kenny like you. And what just the issue of this Almajiri is a big issue, not only for the southeast, but for every part of the country. First and foremost, I believe that it was very, very wrong of the governors of of northern Nigeria decided to moving the Almajiris at this point in time, where we have total interstate lockdown, irrespective of whatever reason or whatever motive behind it. I still believe that these guys, children should have been left where they are, gathered together and kept within the states where they are presently, instead of now trying to move them from one point of the north to the other and rest of them. And that in itself is creating a lot of problems. What is happening now is because they know that the government are now picking them up. They are now decided to start moving on their own, to find themselves into trailers that are moving malu, find themselves into trailers that are moving onions, find themselves into trailers that are moving vegetables and other essentials, hide in between these trailers, get covered by tarpaulin, and start moving from one part of the country. They are moving to the south, they are moving to the southeast, they are moving even to Lagos and the southwest. They are everywhere now. And my major worry is that if going by the statement made by Kaduna State Governor, Rufai, that out of about 50-something majority that were sent to the state from Kano, one of the northern states, about 50 of them tested positive for coronavirus. That in itself goes to show that we have major fundamental problem on our hands.
Exactly.
So they should not be allowed, these people should not be allowed to move around at this time. They should be allowed to, they should be kept where they are and looked after. And it also comes back to what I'm saying, enforcement. For every one trailer that was able to apprehend, bringing these children, I can assure you that over 20 have crossed the various security checkpoints and have found their way into most of these places. And that in itself is a problem. It's a problem that has the issue of Almajiri has been a fundamental problem in the Nigerian system for years. Why is it now that it's during the time of COVID-19 that we are now finding it necessary to now start tackling the issue of where they are from, where they are supposed to go to, where they are supposed to be, and the rest of them? Some of us have been saying that this Almajiri system has been a time bomb we've been sitting on. I was in Borno about 6 months, 4 months ago, and I realized that we had issues.
Oh, sorry, I think we lost them. Kenny there. Okay, hello, Kenny, are you still there?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Okay.
So, as I'm saying, I said the issue, I was in Borno few months ago, about 3 months ago, and I was able to, I was at one of the ID camps in Bama in Borno State, and I saw not only the Almajiris, but also some of the people at the ID camp. If we have any issue with any of these places, that this issue of pandemic, COVID-19 get into these places, it is going to be a serious problem. I've also been to some part of Bauchi also, towards the end of last year. I saw a majority, if you see the problem these children are constituting are going through, I still believe that this is not a right for the northern governor. I think there should be a much better approach to handle the issue of Almajiri, so that it does not, while we are trying to checkmate a problem, we don't create more problems.
Exactly. Thank you very much, CKN. Before I let you go, just one more story I want to pick. Many top Nigerians are dying due to COVID-19. That's a statement by the federal government in the papers this morning. And then the Honorable Minister for Health has warned Nigerians against the use of drugs without doctors' prescriptions. And don't you think, we are having an issue at hand right now? Everybody presently in Nigeria is somehow afraid to go to the hospital. Even I know that I, as a person, I had to even go see my optician. I'm finding it difficult too, because I have issues with my daughter's glasses. I've just been telling her I can't go to the hospital for now. I don't want to go to near the hospital for now. And people have probably malaria, they have fever, they have, all sort of minor, sicknesses, and somehow they are afraid of going to the hospitals, because we have heard stories of people saying that once they get to the hospital, they register them for COVID-19, and then once they say whatever the results they want to, carry out, they just say, oh, they are COVID-19 positive. People are afraid of, one, the stigma, of two, giving a wrong diagnosis about them, and so amidst a lot of so many other fears. But the federal government has come out to say that it is because of this reason, that the fact that Nigerians are no longer visiting the hospitals, that we're having so many COVID-19 cases, which means, if I want to read in between the lines, which means we have much more than the cases we have that has been publicized inside our various community. What do you take? What do you say about this?
Well, it is a multifaceted issue. The issue, let's look at the hospitals. Nigerians will always take advantage of the situation to enrich themselves. So some hospitals have been playing some kind of issue with patients. I, for one person, I just as rightly said, since the COVID-19 issue started, I have not stepped into a hospital. Even when I know that I have my medications that I'm supposed to be taking. So I run away from that. Two, the medical personnel are not also being, some of them are not being truthful with Nigerians. That in itself also is a problem. Don't forget also the Federal Ministry of Health, so the minister said that deliveries and pregnancy and rest of that, about 50% people going to hospitals for this. So it's a multifaceted issue. Then when you see the statements by some prominent Nigerians on the issue of the COVID-19, it's also going to question it starts to put to question the sincerity of what we are fighting. When some top media owners will come and say that they are not sure of what they have, whether it was malaria or COVID-19. When you see pastors, major pastors, bishops coming out to say that they doubt if there is COVID-19 and the rest of them. Such statements put so much pressure into Nigerians, and that in itself is a big problem. Then also, don't forget the problem we are having is that we are not testing enough. We are not testing enough. If we test enough, you will realize that there may be more Nigerians that have this problem than we are reporting presently. So I also believe that it should be a collective responsibility of everybody, those in the health sector, those in the various agencies. Then also we as individuals, the basic thing that we need to, Kenny, you drove through, I'm sure you drove to the studio this morning. How many people do you see wearing masks in Lagos? It's your first mask. Problem.
That is.
Problem. How many people washes their hands? Problem. How many of them keep to the distance, the social distance? Problem. So it is not just every time we contribute government.
Exactly.
We as individuals, are we doing what we're supposed to do as individuals to be able to curb some of this?
That's are we playing our own role?
Are we playing our part? Most of the time, you don't have the saying, any back home, no more.
No more, exactly.
Yes. And they have the same saying in Igbo that meaning that when you see somebody carrying somebody's escort, it just looks like a log of wood. But if it's your family member that is involved or bigger, then you realize the enormity. People have died. And the United States of America will be lying about COVID and have over 90,000 of their people dying.
Exactly.
And they are not. Them in Spain, some in Italy, and the rest of them. What we have been saying that we must not allow this thing to spread in Nigeria because we don't have the capacity to handle it. Is it our general hospitals or any of these hospitals that we are talking about that is going to handle such a situation? I think the most important is for everybody to play this on her part to make sure that we keep safe and adhere strictly to what the government has done. And finally, also, the government should be sincere in their distribution of the so-called palliatives that they are doing, so that the rest of the poor can also get it. And then they should be sincere with Nigerians when it means start telling you that he or she is distributing food. What billions and billions of naira to children that are at home. I don't know how she has been doing that.
That's CKN, that's a story for another day.
I'm telling you, so you can imagine. So those are the situations. But let us play our part of Nigeria so that we can keep safe. Thank you.
Thank you very much, CKN. I appreciate your contribution on the show this morning.
Thank you very much for having me. Have a blessed day.
Thank you, and you too. Well, that was the CEO of CKN News, Chris Kendi Wandu, that was analyzing the stories in the papers this morning with us. It's COVID-19, COVID-19. You and I have been, I keep on saying this, that we have a role to play. We can't just be saying government, 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 because even those of us that are, so to speak, the elite, so to speak, the educated ones, we are even taking it for granted. You see, you just see some people and you are like, are you for real? We all have a role to play in this. Nigerians are dying, people are dying, and the federal government has come out to say that a lot of people that has not even gone to the hospitals, they are dying of COVID-19. Please, let's take precautions even at this point in time. And let's yesterday the statement that came out, from the PTF is that everybody should align their times of their work time towards the timing of before 8 p.m. before the curfew starts, so that the curfew wouldn't meet anybody outside. Let's obey the laws of the land. It doesn't take anything from all of us to obey the laws of the land, and let's see how we can curb the issue of the COVID-19, once and for all in the country. Because once we are able to contain this virus, then life will go on the way it used to be. But as we all continue not to adhere to the necessary things we are supposed to do, then we have a crisis at hand. Then we delay the time at which life will go back to normal. Talking about life going back to normal, well, our present reality now is that coronavirus is still around. We still have partial lockdown. A lot of people are getting out of job. A lot of people are having their salaries being cut down. A lot of people are even just idle. A lot of people, their businesses are shut down. Some people will not even survive it. At this point in time, what are you doing? That will be what I will be discussing with my next guest on the show, evolving for more, even in this time in the country. My guest is going to come on, but before then, I'd like to go for a break. Please don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.